Presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Here with you for the next hour to talk about your computer problems, help you get things sorted out so that you can get your stuff working the way that you want it to work at the speed you want it to work at. 888-250-2091. That's an important number to remember because that's the number that you can call into the program, 888-250-2091. Ask a question, make a comment. We'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, good for anything your heart desires at the service center. You can put it toward your Sophos renewal for your antivirus. It's enough to cover, darn near cover a secure updater renewal. You can put it toward that Windows 11 upgrade. Anything you want to do in the service center, you can throw it right at there, 888-250-2091. Now, like the big voice said, we do have 4 physical locations to help you out. We are officially coming out of the summer doldrums now, and we're hitting the back-to-school season. We have a major Windows 10 and Windows 11 update coming here in the next few months. We've got people upgrading to Windows 11 in record numbers in the service centers, primarily through hardware upgrades. We'll talk about that a little bit on the program today. There's a lot going on as we re-enter this back-to-school time, along with all the normal maintenance checkups, things like that are going on, that people tend to start coming back in August that had been on vacation or gone or not around in July. Of course, macroeconomically, we look at the situation with chips and everything. We're going to talk a little bit in the aftershock. We're gonna. I don't think people realize how much of our electronics, how much of the chips, and not just the chips, but the boards, and even the entire assembly of these components happen in Taiwan. With the whole kerfluffle about Nancy Pelosi possibly visiting Taiwan and China's response to that, it's enough to make a guy nervous in the IT industry. Let me tell you, when you're in the service center upgrading somebody's Windows 11 computer and you're taking out a 10-year motherboard, a 10-year-old motherboard out of an old holiday special and replacing it with new tech and literally breathing new life into this computer so it can go another decade, it's an amazing feeling. But then you got this board. Now, this board I'm holding in my hand that came out of that holiday special is running Windows 10. It's good until 2025, according to Microsoft. Everything is, with Windows 10 will be fine until 2025. This board could be used to repair another computer or possibly build another computer, and you just have that nagging thought in the back of your head, my God, if something ever, and 5-10 years ago, wouldn't have even thought about that. There'll always be motherboards. Come on. I mean, even if they stopped making motherboards today, we'd have motherboards for at least a year, right? Yeah, we kind of did that during the pandemic, you see. My truck, my brand new F-150, the right side mirror won't fold out all the way. It's on, and nothing hit it, nothing impacted a 3-month-old truck. Very frustrating. And they're the big tow mirrors, too, so it's completely apparent the mirror is not folding out. It's not like it's a little car mirror, and it's like, it's not folding out. So you get out and you push it the rest of the way out. Then you're driving down the road and the wind hits it and it folds it back. Well, anyone who's ever messed with a mirror knows, like, the slightest angle change of the physical mirror, like the glass. So I have the glass pitched all the way to the right so I can just barely see what's going on the right side of the truck while I'm driving. It's super safe, let me tell you. I take it into the dealership to get it replaced. First, they think it's a mirror. Then they realize it's a master controller switch that's malfunctioning, and the master controller switch needs to be replaced. They're going to call me. It took me a month to get the service appointment, to get it in under warranty on a 3-month-old truck. They made me wait a month, which is normal for Baxter service. Then, once I got it in, they're like, we don't have the part. We can't get the part. We have no ETA on the part. And it's not a Baxter thing. It's a Ford thing. They're in shortage. It's an electronic component in shortage. And, a lot of the similar stuff is happening with computer parts. So as I take these motherboards out of these holiday specials that we're upgrading, the thought is just there in the back of my mind, rather than throwing them in the recycle bucket and sending them off to Sadov to be ground up for their core components, maybe I should box these and save them just for a year, just in case. And it's just weird to have that thought floating in the back of your head. But this week in the service center, we had You guys, the sale that we launched on upgrading your computer to Windows 11, changing the hardware in your desktop, especially your modular desktop, to make it Windows 11 compatible, was kind of an afterthought. We don't usually run specials in the summer. We've learned over the years that business is slower in the summer in the IT industry because people are traveling, people are gone. You can run buy one, get one free computers, and you're not going to see an increase in sales because people are gone. So we don't run specials during the summer typically. It doesn't make sense. Business-wise, promotional-wise, it doesn't make sense. So, we thought, oh, you know what? We have this deal going where, people are coming in and they're asking about upgrading to Windows 11, and we're having to tell them over and over and over again that in some cases computers they only bought 2 years ago are not Windows 11 compatible, and they're going to have to buy a new computer in 3 years. So it's a little frustrating because we're used to having our customers use their computers for, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before they recycle them. If you have an HP or a Dell, you may not quite get that long of a time. You may be more used to a couple of years before you buy a new one. But, all the same, that's what our customers are used to. And so it's a little frustrating for us to have to tell them different. So we said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we at least give them the option on what the cost is to upgrade to Windows 11? So you have to replace the motherboard, which means you have to replace the processor, which means you have to replace the memory. Then, of course, you have to get all those parts installed. Then you have to upgrade to Windows 11. And then once that's all done, you install the updates and everything is good to go. We are compatible with all the new stuff and the latest toys from Microsoft. Well, the labor kills you. It's like $250 in labor. And by the time you're done adding up all the cost of the parts, you may as well just buy a new computer after the labor. So we said, let's go ahead and discount the labor. Let's go half off on the labor, knock an hour of it off. Instead of 2 hours, just 1 hour. Even though it definitely takes 2 hours to do one of these upgrades, it's like 2 actual human man hours on the bench of installing parts, doing upgrades, because they never go smoothly. Because some of these customers have upgraded from Windows 7 all the way up to Windows 10, and now they're going to Windows 11 on the same computer. So we're replacing all these parts, doing all this work, and the demand, I ordered like 5 processors because I genuinely didn't think anyone was going to take us up on it. I'm like, let's throw it out there, because we had a couple customers anecdotally who called into the service center and said, I wanted to ask about this, but I'm going to wait until Thor does something on the radio. So literally I thought, okay, we got 2 or 3 people out there that are interested in maybe doing this. I'm going to order like 5 processors. We'll throw it up on the radio kind of as an afterthought on the show. And then I can say, hey, Thor did do it on the radio. And then those 2 or 3 people can come in and get their upgrades. And yeah, that has now morphed into a monster of a special. It is so busy that on Wednesday and Thursday, I was in the Omaha Service Center literally all day. And I was doing the bench work. I was doing the upgrades. I was calling the customers. I had customers saying, why are you answering the phone, Thor? Don't you have people for that? Like, well, I do, but, I'm calling people and asking them to call me back. So when they call back, it's kind of polite to answer the phone, So, yeah, we'll talk about your computer and getting everything done. And I must have done 7 or 8 of those upgrades myself over a 2-day period. And these are customers that are taking computers that were not compatible with Windows 11 and making them compatible with Windows 11 by changing out the hardware. So in summary, we can do this on desktops. We can't really do this on a laptop because laptop parts, they're called chip on board. They're all one component, one motherboard. So if your processor is not compatible, we can't change the processor because it's soldered to the board, and the board is unique to that laptop. So with a laptop, you're either compatible or you're not, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. But on a desktop, especially a desktop that is one of our modular computers, the world is our oyster. We can do anything with them. We can replace the boards. We can replace the chips. We can replace the memory, the drives, whatever you want us to do, we can do. And we have customers taking us up on this because when we sat down, especially on the holiday specials. So I'm talking to you, if you have one of our holiday special desktop computers that you bought over the years, half the cost to upgrade that computer to the current holiday special tech from last year, from last December, was half the cost of buying a new holiday special to do the upgrade. There's never been a motivation to do that before because the computer lasts like 10 years and then people get a new one. Well, now you can use it for 10 years and then you just flip it. Now, in other news, we've got some other really good news for customers. If you had your computer into us previously, especially a holiday special, and we told you that your computer was not Windows 11 compatible, we did have some people who have the 2019 and the 2020 holiday specials that have Ryzen second generation chips in them, Ryzen 2700s. But you see, when we bought the chips, we bought the 2700X because they're more powerful. It's the holiday special. They get the best. So with the 2700X chips, yeah, they cost $50 more a chip, but, let's put the X in there. And I'm really glad that we did, because Microsoft has announced that now the Ryzen second gen X and E series chips are going to be compatible with Windows 11, which just shows you how arbitrary this whole your hardware is not compatible thing is. But nevertheless, this is great news, because this took a whole swath of people who would have otherwise needed to replace hardware in their computer, replace processors. And instead, now they can just replace, they don't have to replace anything. They can just get the software upgrade. And it's compatible. The problem is the computer is not going to fire off automatically and get the upgrade for you, because Microsoft originally said it was not compatible. So maybe eventually at some point down the road it will start. But in other news, as we reported last week on TechSpot.com, Microsoft is now selling Windows 11 licenses. And not just the OEM licenses like what we buy, but they're selling Windows 11 licenses to consumers. Microsoft didn't do that with Windows 10 for a long time after it was released, because you could upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10 for free. Microsoft started selling Windows 10 licenses when they ended the free upgrade deal. Right now, you don't have to pay for Windows 11. You just get it as long as your hardware is compatible. So let us make your hardware compatible while you're getting the $200 operating system for free. Isn't that a great deal? And you're saving some labor too. So the problem we ran up against is most of our customers did need chips and boards and things like that. And we kind of bought them all. Go out and try to buy a Ryzen 3 processor right now. Anywhere. Go on Amazon. I bought them. Go on eBay. All the new ones, I bought them. Literally if you go to D&H, go to Ingram Micro, they don't have any Ryzen 3 chips anymore, because we bought them, because that many people are upgrading their computers, and it's insane. Number one, it's insane that this many people are doing the upgrade, which we didn't even expect it to be that big of a deal. And number two, it's insane because of how shallow the processor pool is. Now, trying to be a little humble here, how is a tiny little computer repair company in Nebraska buying out all of the processors? How is that possible? That shouldn't be possible, right? That's how shallow the market is. That's why my F-150 can't get a switch to extend the mirrors, because literally the parts just aren't there. And so right now, what we decided to do is we had a lot of customers coming in who were getting a little antsy because the special was going to go through the end of the month, because it was an afterthought. We'll run it till the end of the month, whatever. But then we couldn't get the chips in time. So we're literally working hand to mouth for processors. My Omaha service center is -1 processor right now. What that means is that there's a customer who's in the service center that wants an upgrade, and the next processor that comes in the door in the Papillion warehouse is going to that customer. So we're literally working hand to mouth right now. When we get in a batch of 2, 3, 4 chips, because that's how they're trickling in every day, we get between 1 and 4. They're literally gone by the end of the day. So now we've started saying, well, do you want to look at a Ryzen 5 chip maybe instead? It's only $70 more, and it's double the performance, and we can get them now. And we had some customers say, well, I want the actual chip that was in the holiday special last year. If I've got all the other tech, I want the Ryzen 7 5700G. I want that one. Okay, great. We can get that too. So it's been a weird summer, guys. It's been really weird, but it's been so fun, because the customers that I'm getting to work with are customers that have been Schrock customers for such a long time, people that I haven't talked to in years, like Dee. You know who I'm talking about, Dee. You're listening right now. And Cheryl listens to the show every week, and she's like, she came in, and we just had the best conversation on Thursday on the phone. I probably talked way longer than I should have on the phone. I probably could have been a lot more productive, but you start talking to these customers that are your friends from years and years and years ago, and it's just exciting to take their computers and make them into something fresh and new again. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you, what we decided to do is, since apparently this is like a thing, we're going to extend it for one more month, primarily because I can't get the chips, and we had customers coming in who were getting a little upset and a little nervous. They were trying to prepay for their chips before we had them, and I'm not real comfortable selling hardware that we don't have. With whole computers, that's one thing when I know I can get the parts and I've got them ordered. But when I'm literally every day going out into the market and saying, where can I find processors today and what price will they be? I don't like having, pre-sold stuff because I don't know that I'm going to be able to fill it, right? So we decided to extend the special for another month. So it's going to run through the end of August. And that way, that'll give everybody plenty of time to get in, get their chips. If it's something you're interested in, it's not a big bum's rush, here at the end of the month to try to get in on a Sunday on the 31st before 5 o'clock to make sure you get the deal. That's not what we do at Schrock. So if it's something that's of interest to you, if you have one of our holiday specials or any one of our modular computers, modular X6. Now, let me think. The X6 was created before we gave our computers like English names like the Endeavor or the Venture, right? So the X6 was our mid-range computer way back in the day. I think, my goodness, I don't know who was president. Was W president during that time? Could have been like 9/11 era. Yeah, and the X6, I had an X6 in the Omaha Service Center yesterday or Thursday that I upgraded to Windows 11. I mean, it's just so cool because you think about everything that computer has seen in the world and the things you never thought it would see. And then you wonder, gee whiz, what's it going to see in the next 10 years going forward? 888-250-2091. We're going to take a break here real quick, guys. But coming up on the program today, if you missed last week's show, you can check it out at SchrockInnovations.com. We did talk about Windows 11 last week. Also, the new ransomware protection feature that Microsoft released exclusively for Windows 11. Also, we talked about last week about how the heat was taking down these European data centers and knocking the cloud offline. Not because the heat was like super spectacular, which, it was hot. They don't have the energy to cool the data centers. They're trying to cut back on their energy usage. And so the data centers overheated and the cloud went down. So interesting stuff there. Also, Amazon delivering packages via drone. They've actually started doing this. They'll fly a drone to your backyard. They're doing it in College Station, Texas right now as a test pilot program, no pun intended. And they're delivering packages to your backyard with a drone. So interesting times we're living in for sure. But if you missed last week's show, you can check it out at SchrockInnovations.com. Coming up on the program today, Microsoft. Last week we talked about Microsoft's new feature that was blocking ransomware from Windows 11 computers. But if you haven't heard, over the past few weeks, I've talked a lot about Microsoft Office and making sure your Microsoft Office product is current, that you don't have an old, outdated version of Office, because Microsoft literally took away the number one way that ransomware infections get on computers. So in the last 2 weeks, Microsoft has nixed the number one and the number two way that you get infected. So we're going to tell you about that coming up on the program. Also, the final test phases for the 22H2 update of Windows, both 10 and 11, has entered. Microsoft's entered final testing on that. We're going to talk about what you can expect there. And this is just one of those weird things. I saw an article. There's an Apple One going up for auction. An original Apple computer from 1976. This was the summer before I was born. This computer was hand soldered by Steve Wozniak. How much is that going to sell for at auction? I mean, what do you guys think? So we're gonna talk about that. I have some price ranges for you of what previous Apple One computers have sold for, like the first Apple One computer, and then other ones that have been that popped up along the way. But I don't know of any that were personally soldered by the Woz, So that this could be one of those Sotheby auction things, where it sells for $1 bajillion to somebody who has more money than sense. Like, congratulations, you bought like a computer from 1976. What are you going to do now? Look at it. 888-250-2091. Going to take our break. Maureen, Randy, Greg, stay on the line. Your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. Want to quickly remind you guys about a program we have over at Schrock. It's free. We make it. We put it on its own website called driveadvisor.com. DriveAdvisor, E-R, because it's made in America. Drive Advisor. But what it does is it monitors the health of your hard drive so that if your hard drive starts to fail, it will pop up and tell you that your hard drive is starting to fail. It's a really novel concept that most manufacturers turn off, the hard drive monitoring, to get you through the warranty period, because your hard drive can fail for a long time before you notice it. But when you notice it, it's catastrophic because you're in the data recovery lab paying, $4, $6, $8, $1,600 to get your data back. If we can prevent that from happening, that's the goal of Drive Advisor. Now, Drive Advisor can't detect all drive failures, but it can detect many drive failures that happen gradually over time, so to give you the time you need to get your data safely stored somewhere else before you have the ultimate catastrophic failure. So it's free, doesn't cost anything, there's no ads, it doesn't pop up, it doesn't track your internet browsing history, it doesn't do anything like that. It's Drive Advisor. You can get it at driveadvisor.com, or if you come into one of our service centers, every computer that comes on the bench, we install a copy of Drive Advisor complimentary on the computer, and it monitors the hard drive for you going forward. So pretty cool stuff there, driveadvisor.com. 888-250-2091. Let's jump into those phones. Maureen, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, I have had a problem since June with some of my emails are delivered in computer code, I guess you would call it.
Oh, wow.
And primarily it seems to be about, I would say, 6 or 8 things that I use regularly. One is I get digital delivery of the Lincoln Journal-Star and of the Omaha World-Herald, and then there's a few other advertising-type emails that will come up in code. And I called your service center in Lincoln about a week after it started happening just to see if it could be quickly resolved.
Sure.
And the young man I talked to, I explained to him what was happening, and I believe, if I remember right, he remoted in and looked at it. And anyway, long story short, he finally said, well, I don't know what to do. Maybe it'll go away in a few days.
Yeah.
So
it hasn't, apparently.
I was ever hopeful, but it didn't.
Okay.
So I had a maintenance checkup already paid for. So in early July, I decided I'd bring it in, and I brought a a little cheat list of several things that I wanted them to look at when they looked at my computer, and this was one of them, and I actually printed out an example of it so it couldn't be missed.
Right. And
then I was called and said that my computer was ready to pick up, and the young man that I talked to that time, I took notes when I talked to him, and
Sure.
then we had company for 2 weeks, and this morning I can't find my notes. But anyway,
That's okay.
I picked up my computer a couple days later, and the fellow that was at the desk that day was not the one that had worked on it, and I asked if I could talk to the fellow that worked on it, but he was back in Omaha then, and
Right.
so I just came home and hoped it was fixed, and it isn't. So then I called the Journal-Star, or I emailed the Journal-Star, and the first lady that talked to me told me to upgrade my Journal-Star password. Well, I was pretty sure that wouldn't be it because I had these other things going wrong. But anyway, so I just can't get any help on getting this fixed. So what do you think?
So first off, what program do you use to check your email?
Yahoo.
All right, so it's a Yahoo email address?
Yes.
Okay, and so what browser do you use to open to go check your Yahoo email? Is it Firefox? Is it Chrome? Is it Edge?
I don't know. How do I find that out to tell you?
Well, the very first thing you click on. What is the first thing you click on when you go to check your email? Because it's not Yahoo. It's got to be a browser to get to Yahoo.
A little blue envelope.
Okay, so you're using the mail program on the computer, the Windows Mail program.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
that's called a web client. And so now the next step is web clients come and go. And what ends up happening a lot of times is when a client is obsoleted, customers don't move on. They just stay on Windows Live Mail, for example, from Windows Vista. And I like Live Mail. I'm never going to leave it. And then, we patch it along for them to keep it running. And then one day something comes down the pipe like what happened here recently where Microsoft came out and said, now you have to have a modern security program in order to check your email, even to check it anymore. And so my guess is if I was to lay money on it, those emails are coming in as code because the program that you're using is either outdated or is obsolete. And if that's not the case, if it's actually just the Windows 10 mail program, there's got to be a setting somewhere in there that's causing those emails. The code that you're seeing is when we send emails, we can send an email as plain text, which is what most people do. They type an email, they hit send, it's all text. Or you can send it as images. And so there's an image here and there's this. And so that's a lot of the promotional emails that you see have a lot of images in them. If your email program is not rendering those images, but instead delivering the code to you that is supposed to generate those images, tell the computer where to download them, you're getting all of your email in plain text format. So there's got to be a setting to do that. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know where that setting is. But what I can do is I can go ahead. Maureen, I'm going to get your number down here, and I'm going to take a look into this myself and see if there's not a really easy setting somewhere in Windows 10 Live Mail that we can, or not Live Mail, Windows 10 Mail that we can maybe change to get you out of the plain text mode. Thank you very much for the call, Maureen. I've got to run here. We're pushing the bottom of the hour break here. Number to join us, 888-250-2091. When we come back, Microsoft's new macro blocking is working to stop ransomware. And Randy, Greg, Stephanie, and David, a full bank of calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the special section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier, so take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. Wildfire fighters have their hands full in California.
California's McKinney Fire in Klamath National Forest exploded overnight from 1 square mile to 62 square miles. Over 100 homes were evacuated on Saturday.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer, Governor Gavin Newsom's declared a state of emergency. Voters in Kansas are set to take up the first statewide referendum on abortion since the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
Voters in Kansas decide whether or not to allow the state's Republican-controlled legislature to amend the Kansas Constitution to further restrict or ban abortion. The measure on the ballot would overturn a 2019 state Supreme Court decision that declared access to abortion a fundamental right. Those who oppose Kansas's constitutional amendment on abortion call it an uphill battle, as far fewer people are likely to cast ballots in August.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Mostly sunny this afternoon around the Omaha area. We'll have a high of 94. There's a slight chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, mainly between about 8 p.m. and midnight tonight. We'll have a 71 for a low. Monday, sunny with a high of 96. And then Tuesday, sunny and hot. We could have a high near 103 degrees. There's your forecast. I'm Roger Olson.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Real quick, previous segment, Maureen had a question about her email. And Maureen, I am drafting an email right now to my Lincoln Service Center, but it sounds like you may have your email set up to be received as POP3 email, which is the old way of receiving email that is being depreciated. Yahoo might still offer it, but most mail clients don't support it anymore. We need to get you switched over to IMAP. That could be the reason you're having the problem. Again, I'm stabbing in the dark here without having the computer in front of me, but I'm sending your phone number and this information to the Lincoln Service Center so we can get you a call from a technician to maybe check out that issue for you. 888-250-2091. Let's jump back into those phones real quick. Randy, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Yeah, hi, Thor. Last Wednesday, I was traveling from west central Minnesota, planning to go to Des Moines to bring my, at least 10-year-old homemade desktop in.
Okay.
Take advantage of your Windows 11 special.
Yeah.
I got there 1:30 p.m., talked to Chris, and he thought I'd be able to, as long as the components were compatible, he'd be able to get it done in one day. Sure enough, by 5:30, he called me back. I was good to go. My son had updated the components, and they were all Windows 11 compatible, so everything worked out great. I want to give a thumbs up to Chris. He did a great job, saved me hotel rates for that night, and I was on my way home at about supper time that Wednesday. So great job, and Chris is a great young man. You did a good job hiring him.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. He's actually a transplant. We moved him from the Lincoln Service Center out to Des Moines. We literally moved him. Like he's now a permanent resident of Iowa. Like,
okay,
because
he's a good one.
He's amazing. He's just amazing, and we needed somebody with that caliber of skill set to head up the service center in Des Moines, and he just does a fantastic job. So thank you for taking the time, Randy, and staying on hold there to deliver that to me. I really appreciate hearing that. We always hear when something goes sideways. Rarely do we hear when things go really good, and that's what we love to hear. Thank you for the call. 888-250-2091. Microsoft is doing something new with their Microsoft Office documents and their Microsoft Office applications. There's a little used feature that most normal people never touch, called a macro that is an automation component of Microsoft Office documents that allows repetitive tasks to be completed automatically. So data entry, where you take data from an accounting system and stick it in a spreadsheet. Well, rather than sitting there and typing cell A1, cell A2, cell A3, a macro can go get that data from somewhere on the network and stick it on the spreadsheet for you automatically. Now, this is the kind of thing like where when a business is paying a guy to like do a whole job, and the guy is smart and figures out he can just automate it by using macros and then just, work from home, if you know what I mean. This is how they do that. So Microsoft, the bad part about this, though, is Microsoft, this great feature that Microsoft allows for business use primarily, can also be abused by attackers. Go get the ransomware infection from this source and install it on the computer through a macro from Microsoft Office. And as I mentioned, most normal people never have used a macro for Microsoft Office in their life. They've never coded an automated action inside of Microsoft Office. So there's no reason for macros to be turned on. Well, the bad guys will try to trick you into turning macros on so that you can then get infected. Microsoft is now blocking macros by default. You have to do manual clicks to get a macro to actually function. And some people you can turn it off in the settings and everything. So it's people in the business community that actually are going to use the macros, repeatedly. They can turn it off and use it just like normal. But for all the rest of us who never use macros, this is the number one infection vector of anything, anywhere for ransomware infections. This is the number one way they get in. And now it's shut down. And we've seen a 66% drop in ransomware infections since this change went into place. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to you is, you wouldn't even know it happened because you never use macros, right? Unless your copy of Microsoft Office is no longer supported. So right now, for example, if you have Office 2013 or older, you are at risk of not having these kind of updates happening to your Microsoft Office. So most people don't get too excited about making sure they have the most recent version of their word processor. It's like, it's hard to get excited about that. But when you have an infection vector like this, think about all the heartache you could prevent simply by upgrading your version of Office to something that's Office 2021. If you have Office 2016, you're good to go. If you have Office 2021, you're obviously good to go. Office 2013's got a few months left before it is obsolete, so you're still good to go. Office 2017, let me get this right. I want to make sure I get it right. 2017 has a few months left, and it's good to go. 2013 is already end of life, so you did not get the update if you're running 2013 or earlier. So it's important to make sure that you check the version. How do you check the version of Microsoft Office that you're running? When you open Word or Excel or Outlook, there's a little splash screen that pops up on the screen. It has the year on it. You can check it real easy by just opening the program and watching that splash screen. It'll tell you what year you've got. If it doesn't tell you what year you've got, then you've got a really, really, really old one. We actually had a computer come in for a Windows 11 upgrade that, no joke, had Office 99 installed on it. And I was like, I didn't even know you could do that anymore. You got to be kidding me. Office 99? How did they do that? But it was something to see. I haven't seen that word icon in a long time. 888-250-2091. Greg, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hey, Thor, I'm wondering, you're talking about these updates. Do you guys have the ability to, on the Schrock desk, to look at the computer to see what, if I have to bring it in or what has to be done?
Yeah, we can tell. We can totally tell. In fact, if you've had your computer into us before, we might just have the information in our database already. Because basically the big sticking point is the processor. Your processor is the limiting factor that is causing most computers to not be Windows 11 compatible. But then the challenge comes to change your processor. Sometimes we have to change the motherboard. And our guys know which processors work on which boards. And then if you change the motherboard, that probably means you're going to have to change the memory. And then, so literally it's like a cascade. But on the other hand, we've had some customers, for example, that have had early, I would say 2007, 2008, or no, 2017, 2018 modular computers. that have that AM4 motherboard, but they just have an older chip, and we're just able to replace just the chip. So yeah, we can totally check that over the Schrock desk. You know, if we need to check what board you're using, we can run Belarc or something to get the version number of the motherboard, and that'll tell us exactly what chips it's compatible with, and we'll know if we can we can give you an exact quote on what it's going to take to get you upgraded.
Perfect. Thank you.
No sweat. Have a great afternoon, Greg. Appreciate the call today. 888-250-2091. Want to give a shout out to everybody who is watching right now at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We got a full boat of people over here today. All kinds of questions, cracked iPads going on over here, all kinds of crazy stuff. You can check it out at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where you can watch the show in case you want to. But if you don't do the Facebook thing, if you're not a social media person, that's okay too. We post all the video for you on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. We upload it to YouTube and we upload it to Rumble just in case. You never know. And have you heard about the lawsuit? Rumble was suing. This is probably I'll talk about this more during the Aftershock because it's not part of the planned show today. But Rumble is suing Google because they're saying that in Google search results they're not including Rumble videos. They're only including YouTube videos, and that's anti-competitive because Google owns YouTube. So Google is promoting their own video service and excluding other video services like Rumble. And normally these cases just Google files for dismissal. This is a baseless charges, blah, blah, blah. And the judge just dismisses it and big tech goes on its way. This time the judge didn't dismiss it. This means this trial is going to go forward, which means Rumble is going to go through discovery with Google. So Google, exactly how does your algorithm determine what videos to place where? That's a trade secret. It's confidential. Well, you're in discovery now. So you have to tell us. Now, we promise we won't say it out publicly, but you have to tell us. You have to prove that you're not favoring your own product over the competitor's product, especially if the content is superior. Yeah, by the time this goes anywhere, of course, it'll be like the Microsoft thing. But it's still interesting to finally see them having to sweat just a little bit. Makes me smile. 888-250-2091. We're going to take a final break of the program here. Final break? Yeah, final break. We'll do the final break. That'll give us lots of time here to get to Stephanie and David. Also coming up on the program, we want to talk about the final test phase of the 22H2 updates. This is the update, the big one that's coming for Windows 10, and the first one ever that's coming for Windows 11 after a year of being released. This is the first time Microsoft in the modern history of Microsoft Windows operating systems has gone a full year without a major version revision. What is in store for us? Well, we're going to tell you all about it coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, final segment of the program. Thanks for sticking with us through the show today. I want to remind everybody that we will be doing a second little show called The After Schrock at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations at the conclusion of this program, where we will squeeze in all of the cool, funny stories and things that didn't fit in during the program. We'll get all those in there. For example, I'm going to tell you the story about the first time in 22 years that a customer put his computer in the bushes outside the service center, expecting us to repair it in the bushes. That's never happened in 22 years. That's the kind of stuff you get during the Aftershock. A lot of bushwhacking. 888-250-2091. And apparently Chris is like the man of the hour today. Chris in Des Moines, I mean, he's getting love on Facebook. He's getting love from callers today. Dude's making an impression. I have to, you guys, is this a coordinated effort? Is his review coming up? Like, what's going on here? 888-250-2091. Stephanie, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, hopefully I didn't miss anything you said earlier, but I want to order a new computer.
Okay.
And I don't know how long it would take to get one.
Sure.
That's question number one.
Well, most of our computers are in stock. So like, if you come in to purchase it, you can take it home same day. In some cases, customers want us to do some additional work on the computer. For example, like transferring information from the old computer to the new computer, things like that. That can sometimes take a day. But I mean, the computers are in stock. All of our normal models are in stock. If we special order something for you, usually takes about 5 days or less.
Okay, that's awesome. Also, so if I do that, then I have a prepaid maintenance checkup.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, if I get a new computer, there wouldn't be any need to do
Right.
that. Can that money transfer to the cost of the new?
What we usually do for you is we'll extend them for you. We'll add another 6 months onto it so that way we don't want to take money from you for a product that you're not going to get to use. So if in a situation like that where, you know, for all the right reasons, we'll just add an extra 6 months on the expiration date so that you can use it at the appropriate time on the new computer.
Oh, awesome. And one more. Will my Secure Updater and Sophos transfer over because they're paid for?
Yeah, absolutely. We transfer those subscriptions at no cost. A lot of people don't realize that if they buy a new computer, like, not everyone is like you, Stephanie. Not everybody comes to us to get their new computer. Sometimes people like see a deal and they're like, hey, I want that deal. And I know it's not probably as good or whatever, but you know, it's cheap and I want that. So they go out and they get another computer and then they don't tell us about it. And so it's always free for us to move your subscriptions from one computer to another. And we don't give you gruff about it. We don't care that you bought a computer somewhere else. It's okay. You know, people are going to make the decisions that are right for their family. Our job is to keep you safe. But if we don't move the software from your old computer to your new computer, number one, you keep paying for it. These are subscriptions. They continue going forward until you cancel them. So don't do that. If you're not going to use the software, at least call us and cancel it. Number two, if you're getting a new computer like you want to do, Stephanie, we will move the Sophos subscription. We will move the Secure Updater subscription. We'll move the Drive Advisor over to the new computer. And then there's no cost for that. We don't charge anything to move those products over.
Okay, so we can come out to the service center here in Omaha and just talk to somebody about getting the new computer then.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll go through it. They'll go through everything with us and
from start to finish. That's right.
All right. That's what I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call, Stephanie. We're open in Omaha Sunday from noon to 5 and every other day of the week from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening. So you got plenty of time to come by whenever it's convenient for you. All right. 888-250-2091. David, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, I have a problem. I got a robocall from you saying that one of the
warranty,
the warranty had expired or was, and so I couldn't get the phone fast enough to get the punch and et cetera.
Gotcha.
So I called later, and the guy could not find anything.
He couldn't find you?
He couldn't find it. He said he couldn't make the system work, and that was calling the Papillion shop. And I expected, okay, he'll find it eventually, and then he'll call back. But, I'm now Sunday, and I haven't heard anything.
Okay. David, I've got your phone number here from you calling in. Let me look into this for you. And first of all, I'll check and see if I can just find the warranty information for you and get back to you on that. We sent out a robocall. For those of you who got it, I think I might have mentioned something last week about this too, to customers who have warranties that are expiring or that have expired recently. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this. We don't. Who wants to send out robocalls about your expiring computer warranty? Your car's extended warranty is expiring. I mean, who wants to send that robocall? I mean, you that's cliche, right? But the problem that we're up against is if we don't send the robocall, we have too many customers to call by hand. And if we don't send the automated call, when your warranty expires and we allow it to expire, well, if you had an extended warranty, you get a credit on account. You get the money you paid for the warranty back on your Schrock account. But that's of little consequence when your hard drive dies and you come in and you find out, well, the money that I got for the refund on the warranty doesn't cover the repair cost. Well, yeah, that's why you had the warranty in the first place. So we want to make sure, especially if you have one of our modular computers or our solid-state laptops, that you stay in your warranty. We always want you to be in a warranty when you have a Schrock computer. That way, when you come into us, if you need anything at all, there's no charge. Not everybody buys warranties. There's two types of people in the world. Some people do, some people don't. So, David, let me look into this for you, and I will get back to you either by email or phone here today to get this all straightened out with you.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, David. I appreciate the call today. 888-250-2091. Now, there's a big update coming, and we talk about these usually every 6 months. They push these out. But when Windows 11 was released, they changed the update frequency to annually. Now, what does this mean? What we have seen in Windows 10 is when these updates come out, this is literally a brand new operating system. So this is just like going from Windows 10 to Windows 11 or from Windows 7 to Windows 10. This is a whole new operating system that you're installing on your computer. All your files and programs and documents are getting migrated into the new one, and then the old one is set aside. You can roll back to it within 30 days if you want to, and if you don't, then eventually it's just deleted from the hard drive. This is an entire new operating system. The things that go sideways during this process are frequent and frustrating, and they hit the same people over and over and over and over again. And people were coming into the service center and they were upset because every 6 months they were coming in and having to spend money to fix their computer, and they were upset about that. They weren't upset with us; they were upset with the situation. But we were the convenient target of that upsetness, and so of that frustration. And so we decided to come up with a product called Safe Upgrade. Next week we're going to open up Safe Upgrade for the 22H2. That's the 2022 half 2. That's where the 22H2 comes from. 2022 second half update. In truth, though, there was no first half update. There was 22H1, which was the release version of Windows 11, and now a year later we have 22H2. Windows 10 also is going to get a 22H2 update. Because Microsoft doesn't want anybody on Windows 10 anymore, Microsoft is not telling anybody anything about what is in the 22H2 update. The only release we've gotten from Microsoft is it's entered its final testing ring today or this week. So great, it's in testing. Wonderful. Windows 11, what's in the Windows 11 22H2 update? We don't know. It's not expected to be a huge update, they said. So then why do we have to do a whole version upgrade for what is essentially a Windows update? Why is this a version upgrade? The version upgrade is where they introduce new features, new core pieces of code to the operating system. That's why there's a need to create a whole new installation of Windows as opposed to just an update or a patch. So there's a lot that's going on that we don't know about right now. Then on top of that, there's some confusion as to after this update, if Microsoft is going to go to a quarterly update scenario where they introduce major new features every 3 years, but then every 3 months force you to install a new copy of Windows on your computer as an update, even though you don't need the full new version of Windows. So there's a lot of confusion out there, guys, and we're going to do our best to make sure we work you through it. But I wanted to prep everybody for, we're going to be releasing Safe Upgrade next week. You probably will get an email if you've purchased it in the past, giving you an opportunity to get in because it is a limited quantity kind of deal. The main reason it's limited in quantity is if something does go sideways, if there's a bug in the release and we install it on 5,000 computers, I've got 15 employees. And when 5,000 people call us back at the same time, you don't have to do the math to know what's going to happen there. It's going to be bad service. So we limit the number of people that we sell this to so that we know that we can satisfy any potential service demands that come down the pipe. So with that in mind, if you get an email about Safe Upgrade, that's what it's all about. You can take advantage of the email or you can not. And then, of course, we'll talk about it on the radio show next week as well. Apple One, personally soldered by the Woz. What do these things sell for at auction typically? Well, the very first one sold for over $1 million in 2014 for a 1976 computer hand soldered by a fat guy. Oh my gosh. Another Apple One sold in 2013 for $500,000. Another one for $375,000. So what's this one going to sell for? We don't know, but if you want to bid on it, it's going to be on sale at Sotheby's. All right. So we have an error with the music, so that's okay. That's all right. Oh my goodness. So I thought the show was ending and I'm like, oh no, I'm almost out of time. I have to get to the Wozniak story. So we got the Woz story in, but nevertheless, guys, I don't know what it's going to sell for, but when it sells, it's going to sell for a lot. It's not going to sell for $375,000. I mean, it's going to sell for at least 17% more than that, right? Because, inflation, right? So at least 17% more, but this one was personally soldered by him. So I don't know, it's going to go for $1 million. I'm going to guess if I had to put money on it, no pun intended, I'd say about $750,000 is where it's going to go. All right. So thank you for joining us. We got to draw the winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. That is Randy. Congratulations, Randy. You've got yourself $25 in your Schrock account. Marissa will get that added for you tomorrow so that we can get that going for you. Also, if you have a holiday special desktop or a desktop from Schrock at all, any modular desktop, and you want us to upgrade it to Windows 11, I would strongly recommend that you take advantage of the special we have, half off the labor. Again, out of left field, didn't expect it to be such a big hit, but it is. Take advantage of that deal, and we'll talk to you all again next weekend for another exciting edition of Compute This.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, your home